The engines on the island of Sodor are good at different things. Gordon is a very good express. Percy is good at carrying the mail. And when Edward is not hauling trucks, he's very good at being a back engine. When engines have heavy loads, Edward buffers up behind and helps push. But Edward is old. Some engines think this makes him unreliable. Edward is a useless old steam pot, Gordon sniffed. He should be retired. But he doesn't have tyres, Percy said. Retired, said Thomas, means taken out of service. And not a moment too soon, said Gordon. And the other big engines agreed with him. But Percy was very upset. Later, his driver asked him why he looked so glum. Percy told him about Edward. The big engines don't think he's useful anymore, he said. Percy's driver saw the Fat Controller and told him what Percy had said. I will attend to the matter immediately. The Fat Controller had a plan. The new loop line is completed, he said to Edward. I want you to teach Stepney how to run it properly. But, sir, he asked, who will look after the trucks? Duck will do your work, the Fat Controller replied. When the other engines heard Duck was going to help them, they were pleased. Duck is very reliable, said Henry. It makes no difference to me, said Gordon pompously. I don't need a back engine. And he wheeshed away. Edward enjoyed working with Stepney. It was great fun delivering passengers to stations in the beautiful countryside. But Duck was not happy. The trucks were playing their silly games. Duck should play with other ducks, 'cause he's no good at pulling trucks. Quack, 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 hold back, they giggled. Duck found himself going slower and slower and slower. Halfway up Gordon's hill, his wheels stopped altogether. Duck was stuck. Oh no, said his driver. This is Gordon's line. Duck's guard phoned the signalman to warn him. It's too late to switch Gordon to the middle line, said the signalman. You'll have to flag him down. Gordon saw the guard. If I stop on this hill, I'll never get started again, he said crossly, and he buffered up to Duck. Gordon tried to set off again, but his wheels spun and spun. It's no use. We need a back engine, said the driver. I'll send for Edward. Gordon was cross. Edward was excited. He was going to be the back engine for 2 trains. Edward cheerfully buffered up and the strange train set off. They chuffed gently into the station. Look at that, laughed a boy. The back engine must be the strongest and the best. Gordon was embarrassed. The Fat Controller spoke severely to Gordon. You have said rude things about Edward, the Fat Controller said. He proved today that he is useful, reliable, and very helpful. Gordon felt very ashamed. The next morning, Gordon apologized. Thank you for helping me, Edward, puffed Gordon. You really are a useful engine. It's good to be back, Edward chuffed happily. The Fat Controller's plan had worked. There was no more talk about Edward retiring.
Thomas is a tank engine who lives at a big station on the island of Sodor. He's a cheeky little engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He's a fussy little engine too, always pulling coaches about ready for the big engines to take on long journeys. And when trains come in, he pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest. Thomas thinks no engine works as hard as he does. He loves playing tricks on them, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Thomas likes whistling rudely at him. "Wake up, lazy bones, why don't you work hard like me?" One day after pulling the big express, Gordon had arrived back at the sidings very tired. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. "Wake up, lazy bones, do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me." And off he ran laughing. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could get back at Thomas. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His driver and fireman couldn't make him start. His fire went out and there was not enough steam. It was nearly time for the express. People were waiting, but the coaches weren't ready. At last, Thomas started. Oh dear, he yawned. He fussed into the station where Gordon was waiting. "Hurry up, you," said Gordon. "Hurry yourself," replied Thomas. Gordon began making his plan. "Yes," said Gordon, "I will." And almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon reversed quickly and was coupled to the train. "Get in quickly, please," he whistled. Thomas usually pushed behind the big trains to help them start, but he was always uncoupled first. This time Gordon started so quickly they forgot to uncouple Thomas. Gordon's chance had come. Come on, puffed Gordon to the coaches. The train went faster and faster, too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop, but he couldn't. "Peep, peep, stop, stop!" "Hurry, hurry, hurry," laughed Gordon. You can't get away, laughed the coaches. Poor Thomas was going faster than he had ever gone before. He was out of breath and his wheels hurt him, but he had to go on. "I shall never be the same again," he thought sadly. "My wheels will be quite worn out." At last they stopped at a station. Thomas was uncoupled, and he felt very silly and exhausted. Next, he went on to a turntable, thinking of everyone laughing at him. And then he ran onto a siding out of the way. "Well, little Thomas," chuckled Gordon, "now you know what hard work means, don't you?" Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest and had a long, long drink. He went home very slowly and was careful afterwards never to be cheeky to Gordon again.
"I'm not happy," complained Gordon. "Your firebox is out of order," said James. "No wonder, after all that coal you had yesterday." "Hard work brings good appetite," snapped Gordon. "You wouldn't understand." "I know," put in Duck brightly. "It's boiler ache. I warned you about that standpipe on the other railway, but you drank gallons." "It's not boiler ache," protested Gordon. "Of course it is," said Henry. "That water's bad. It furs up your tubes. Your boiler must be full of sludge. Have a good wash out. Then you'll feel a different engine." "Don't be vulgar," said Gordon huffily. Gordon backed down on his train, hissing mournfully. "Cheer up, Gordon," said the Fat Controller. I can't, sir. The others say I've got boiler ache, but I haven't, sir. I keep thinking about the dreadful state of the world, sir. Is it true, sir, what the diesels say? What do they say? They boast that they've abolished steam, sir. Yes, Gordon, it is true. What, sir? All my Doncaster brothers, drawn the same time as me, all gone, except one. The guard's whistle blew, and Gordon puffed sadly away. Poor old Gordon, said the Fat Controller. If only we could. Yes, I'll ask his owner at once. He hurried away. Arrangements took time, but one evening Gordon's driver ran back excited. Wake up, Gordon! The Fat Controller's given you a surprise. Look! Gordon could hardly believe it. Backing towards him were two massive green tenders, and their engine shape was very like his own. It's Flying Scotsman, he gasped. The Fat Controller's brought him to see me. Oh, thank you, sir. Gordon's toot of joy was drowned by Flying Scotsman's as he drew happily alongside. Next day, the two engines were photographed side by side. You've changed a lot, smiled Flying Scotsman. I had a rebuild at Crewe. They didn't do a proper Doncaster job, of course, but it serves. I had a rebuild, too, and looked hideous. But my owner said I was an extra special engine and made them give me back my proper shape. Is that why you have two tenders, being special? No, you'd hardly believe it, Gordon, but over there, there's hardly any coal and water. But surely, every proper railway... Exactly. You are lucky, Gordon, to have a controller who knows how to run railways. Everyone got on well with Flying Scotsman, except Henry. Henry was jealous. Tenders are marks of distinction, he complained. Everybody knows that. Why's he got two? He's famous, explained Duck and Donald. He was the second to go 100 miles an hour. Besides, the other railway has no coal and water. Whew, sniffed Henry. I can't believe that. I never boast, he continued, but I always work hard enough for two. I deserve another tender for that. Duck whispered something to Donald. Henry, asked Duck innocently, would you like my tenders? Yours? Exclaimed Henry. What have you got to do with tenders? All right, said Duck. The deal's off. Would you like 'em, Donald? I wouldn't deprive you of the honour. It is a great honour, said Duck thoughtfully, but I'm only a tank engine, so I don't really understand tenders. Perhaps James might... sorry I was rude, said Henry hastily. How many tenders have you, and when could I have them? 6. And you can have them this evening. 6 lovely tenders, chortled Henry. What a splendid sight I'll be. That will show the others the sort of engine I am. Henry was excited. Do you think it'll be all right? He asked for the umpteenth time. Of course, said Duck. Just go where I told you, and they'll be ready. Meanwhile, word had gone round, and the others waited where they could get a good view. Henry was cheered to the echo when he came, but he wasn't a splendid sight. He had 6 tenders, true, but they were very old and very dirty. All were filled with boiler sludge. Had a good wash out, Henry? Called a voice. That's right. You feel a different engine now. Henry wasn't sure, but he thought the voice was Gordon's.